Okay, so let's take a look at how you can set up compute engines VM instance. So we will be installing Ubuntu server on Google Cloud. So I assume that you have your trial account from Google Cloud, and also you have created a project and also set up the billing. That means you are ready to create your services. Now if we go to all products, alternatively we can go to main menu, then we go to compute engine and click on VM instance. Either one of the options should work. So we will be making use of this particular all products option, where from the categories we will be accessing compute. So click on compute. There you will be able to access compute engine. So it will have GPU, TPU, disk, VM. So we will click on that. So it will take us to the page where we can create instances. At the top you can see create instance option, and this particular area is the table that shows our current instances and its resources, right? So here you can see if we click on create instance, it should create. Right now let's take a look at what we have. On the left hand side we have options to create new instance from scratch, so we'll go through all the options. Another is selecting existing template. Third is from machine image, from existing image that you can use as is, and then marketplace, which will have like bundle of existing instance that we can just take, right? So let's name this dev instance, or let's see dev ubuntu, right? So this is my instance. I can add additional label to sort out. Then comes the region. So considering current region cost 28, let's see how much would Asia cost. So let's go here, let's see the cost. If it is higher cost, then I will just switch to some other option. So let's see if I can get Singapore. Hopefully it should be a lot cheaper. Okay, so Asian seems to be charging a bit more, so I will just move to Europe. Let's say Zurich, if it is low cost. Okay, none of them are low cost, so I guess we have no other option than to use US. Okay, as you can see, all of them are kind of costing a bit. Here you will notice that once you select it, it will remain permanent. So I will select US Central, Iowa. I can pick the zone, can pick the zone C. Then here you will notice there is a machine configuration, general purpose, compute optimized, memory optimized, and GPU. So general purpose get E series, where you can have second generation CPU, right? And we can use that. 2 CPU 4 GB memory is one of the option. You can change that to additional machine types, where you can pick what you want. So micro and small are kind of like low, right? So here you can pick from the combination that you prefer. So I prefer the 4 GB memory one. Then display device, if you want to enable screen capture and recording tools, you can enable disable this. Then confidential VM service, so if you want to protect your encrypted keys within the VM, you can use this confidential VM service. Considering I'm going to delete my instance after the usage, I will pick this. Container, I don't want to use it for now. Then comes boot disk, so I will change this to Ubuntu. So let's go to operating system, browse for Ubuntu, then let's try to find the server edition. So here you see 18, 20, 22, and so on. So I will pick 2204 LTS. If you have any different minimal additions, you can go with that as well. So I will pick that one. Loads a lot quicker and is light on memory too. So let's pick this one, AMD 64. Right, then I will pick 10 GB. Considering this is minimal, we will restrict it on that. Then comes identity and API access. As you can see, we will use default account. Right, then access scopes allow default access. I can also allow HTTP and HTTPS. Then comes advanced option where I can choose networking, can add tag and host name, IP forwarding you can enable. Then next comes disks. Here you can pick the disk, attach existing disks. Then comes security where you can pick the option for security of your VM. Right, for example, if you want to have access, here you can see by default when you connect to VM using this console, your SSH keys are generated automatically. We can keep that as well. I can also add manually keys into this. Right, so that is one more option. Next is management. So here we can enable disable deletion protection, but I want to delete it immediately after showing you how to do this, so I will not enable deletion protection. In your case, if you are using this for anything serious, you can then delete that. Then comes policies. You can pick what applies. Then maintenance and restart related options you can enable disable, and sole tenancy you can have that, considering we don't have means to change it. So that was one of the approach to see all the choices we have while creating VM instance. So I will click on create and let the process go through. Do note that you will be charged per hour with these compute instance, so always remove your instance when not in use. You can either delete it or totally shut it down so that there won't be further charges for it running. However, there will be charges for disks used and other resources being used. So as you can see, it is taking a bit of time to set things up. Also, it has to install the Ubuntu as well, so it will take a bit of time. Right, so next thing is we will be clicking on our instance. Once that happens, we can go to our VM instance to connect through SSH. Right, as you can see, it says running, so everything is going on as expected. Here you will find your image, which is minimal Ubuntu, right, and all the details of the instance listed here. Right, now the next thing is we will try and go back and let's take a look at option to connect. So right click, open in browser window using provided private SSH key. Right, we can open that, so make sure to allow pop-ups for Firefox. If you want, you can also add that as a tab if I'm not wrong, if that's available to move. So let's try and see if it's possible. It looks like it is not allowing me. It is treating it as like a pop-up now. Right, as you can see. Let me click again, open in browser window, then browser window on custom port. So let's go with open in browser window. If there is no SSH option, then it may often give you that issue. So we'll have to first get it to this particular tab. I can't do that. For some reason it is not letting me add it. Usually if with this particular window, you can see I can move a tab from one to another. So hopefully it should be possible here as well. So here notice that it is letting me connect to this Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. I already have one SSH, that's why this was possible. So where was that SSH? So here if we go to metadata, you will find that SSH key which will be used across the application. So click on SSH key and you will find my username here, and here you can see it listed. Also considering account is sync, it will show me the account based username. That's why Dev Ubuntu listed here like that. So if I go to VM instances, it will show me the name of that VM, Dev Ubuntu, and my gcloud username here. Right now let's say if it's really Ubuntu. So if I type in lsp underscore release -a, hit enter, then it should show you Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, right, and its minimal edition. Now I can go ahead and edit variety of application, or let's see if I want to run a web server like caddy server or some server that has support for Python and PHP, I can get that as well. Right, so basically I managed to install it. I can immediately check in with SSH in browser option. So if I want to exit it, I will simply type in exit and the window will close. Right, one more thing, if I want to delete this particular VM instance, I will select. Let's see if it lets me delete it from here, from that hamburger menu, delete. Also at the top there is delete option. Considering we didn't enable the deletion protection, it will allow me to delete. So click delete and it should work. So here you see deleting instance of Ubuntu. And it will take a minute or so and that will be done. So unless you are planning on using it for hours, I think it's best option to delete it when required.